Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Patterson, and as always, we're joined by Ethan Daffy. And tonight we are reviewing our clash against Port Adelaide, Carlton v Port Adelaide, of course, at Marvel Stadium. The final scores were 9 goals, 11, 65 to Carlton, to Port Adelaide, 11 goals, 13, 79. There is a hell of a lot to talk about tonight, Daffy boy. I would say this straight away. I am awfully sick. So if my voice isn't up to scratch or if I do some sneezing throughout the episode, I'm sorry about that in advance. But definitely have to do this episode straight off the bat because it's warning signs. It's been warning signs the past 3 or 4 weeks. But your initial thoughts for that game tonight, how are you feeling? Because I am in absolute shambles at the moment.
Yeah, it was I was having a fun time up until halftime. But gee, I was like, oh my God, we fucking turned it on. We finally turned it on like for the first time really in a month's worth of footy. And coming out, I'd love to be, like we say, I'd love to be a fly on the wall at halftime, what the messaging was. I'd have to say a lot of it was coaching in the way we were moving the ball in the second half. We thought we could sit on a 34-point lead, and I read a tweet before saying we were 30 points up, Patto. Just listen to this. This will make you even more annoyed, right? 31 points up, and we lost to a team who scored 79 points. That's almost impossible.
3 times as well this season that we've been up by 30 points and we've lost.
Yep. But this is even worse. They scored 79. So pretty much all we had to do was probably go 3 goals a quarter for the second half. We win the game. We win the game, and pretty flat. I'm past that anger. I'm almost at that flat stage where honestly, it's that stage where you go, fuck, I can't be buggered talking about this lot. And it's going to be a very, very hard episode to get through for me.
Very, very mediocre. That's the first thing that I'll say. Well, there's a hell of a lot of things to get through, whether we can talk about the ladder position, whether we can talk about the stats, whether we can talk about selection, whether we can talk about personnel that's out, that was out tonight. Well, to start off the night, saw the laid out of Harry Mackay, probably the one play that we could not lose, and there's still people that decide to shit talk him, which absolutely baffles me, but we're not even going to even encourage that because we aren't even going to go anywhere near that because you know and I know and all their Carlton supporters know that actually love the club and don't want to talk shit about the club, know how important Harry Mackay is to this structure. So I am just going to say that Harry Mackay, that was the first kind of like, as soon as I saw that laid out, I'm like, here we go. Here we go. That was just the first bit of like, there was just that there was something in the air walking into Marvel Stadium. I'm just like, there was just a feeling. I mean, obviously, I always go with my good mate Jacob, and I said to him that there was just always that there's that slight. Oh, there goes the camera. Camera's fallen, but there's always just that slight worry now where we were speaking about it after the Geelong game. Trust. Finally, there's trust. Look back at the review episode. Trust. Finally, 4-quarter effort. So I'm going to go through the summary. So quarter time, it was 1 goal 4 to 2 goals 2 in Port Adelaide's favour, obviously. Second quarter, 8 goals 6. So we scored 7 goals in 1 quarter. For the rest of the game, we scored 1 goal, and so we kicked 2 goals in 3 quarters. How does that make sense? It is at the point where we are still standing second on the ladder, and there's people saying that like even we perform poorly at Marvel Stadium, but I'm like, it can't be the ground. It cannot be the ground because we can play wherever.
Yeah.
But if you fucking play on Brighton Oval down the road. Seriously, it is like
Yeah.
it's small things of we can't execute, and whenever the pressure is kind of on us after the Geelong game, I think you even said it.
Mm.
I think just a bit of conversation of, oh, here we go. Everyone's putting the pressure on Carlton.
Yeah.
How are they going to deal with the media putting all the pressure on Carlton? And look what has happened. I'm
Mm.
sorry. Last week, I'm not going to take that as a genuine win. Of course, we got the 4 points, which was
Of course.
crucial
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
season's end, but
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
has changed. Not a single thing, in my view, and you might be completely different. Viewers might be completely
No, I
different as
agree.
well. I have not seen a shift since the second quarter against GWS.
Yes.
So
Yep.
once again, what happened in that quarter time huddle? As soon as you speak, I'm going to adjust this camera because it's already bloody starting to turn. But I need to get your thoughts on what is going through your head of where the club is at right now. But it's danger time right now, I reckon.
Yeah, it's no, I agree. Completely agree. I don't know. Since that time onwards where we had that massive quarter, we just haven't really put it together apart from maybe the second quarter today. I reckon the second quarter today and the first quarter of the Giants, probably the only two good quarters we've had. And like you said last week, we played a shit fucking team. Let's be real. Let's be real. It was one of those, just get the 4 points. And I thought, okay, let's just get the 4 points and now let's launch. But yeah, it's I think the questions have to be raised on the coaching group at the moment. Um, my worry is at the moment is the lack of tactical nous and tactical change throughout a game. Radically goes forward, which obviously kind of shakes up the game a bit, in my opinion. And we it wasn't like we didn't have a 200 centimeter defender playing at centre forward. It wasn't like we did. And that's where it's the worry for me because I thought North Melbourne threw a spanner in the works last week as well. Chucking Comden up forward, which almost cost us the game last week, and just because they sucked dogs' balls is because we got over the line and poor Adelaide are a middle of the road team, aren't they? They're fucking shit. Like, good on them winning tonight. Nothing against them, but fuck, they were rattled in that second quarter. They were gone. It was hands on heads. How did the coaches not see that and go, fuck, let's finish it in the third quarter in the first 10 minutes? Could have been up 50. And then you go, fuck it, let's sit back. And then we're tired in the last quarter. If we're up by 5 goals at 3/4 time, then you can hold on to the game if you are tired. Because I understand it's a 5-day break. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but fuck. They were tired in that last 10, weren't they? We just ran out of legs. There was blokes walking. Not just 4 blokes. It would have been a dozen blokes walking. Just genuine tired. Our pressure was high for a majority of the game. We were just cooked. And we didn't have a big enough lead to, hold on to it. And that's what costs. And we lose by 2 goals. But yeah, it's just like you said, the start of the game, just had a bad feeling about it. But then we got up fucking 5 goals, Patto, and really should be winning. Doesn't matter who's out there.
Mm. I'm just looking through the timeline now, and
Oh,
like
don't.
even remembered about David Cunningham being subbed off.
That's it. That's his final game in a Carlton jumper.
Yeah, we won't. Yeah, we won't go into any.
I'd say it would be.
Yeah, it's definitely a conversation that needs to be. Yeah, like the exact same thing with Callum Marchbank.
Not
They
lucky.
they just
Yeah,
can't find a way to get
the
the
body
senior
right.
jumper on. The senior jumper on, and I think Cunners has been good in the VFL, but you need to perform at the AFL to keep on an AFL list. And right,
Body's not right.
sorry.
His body's just not right. He's a good footballer, but his body just lets him down too many times, and that happens to all sorts of players. That's he's shown definitely he's capable at AFL level. But if you're not fucking on the park, I don't think you can be on the list. And
Mm.
it's costing us at the moment. We look like we're out of legs, aren't we? We are tired. We are tired, and it's just it shows you how hard it is to get to the top, Paddo. And we talk about maybe Collingwood don't have the best list, but fuck, they got over the line last year just. But it shows you how tough a 24-week season and finals is. And what is it, round 20, and we looked fucking cooked.
Yeah, well, I mean, even back to David Cunningham about when he did that shoulder. And the worst thing was like he had it taped up as well. So you knew that there was an injury. Like I don't know if that was the shoulder that he had surgery on the past few years. I know that he had shoulder surgery recently, but I don't know if that was the shoulder. But yeah, seeing it taped up, like him having his first genuine AFL game in a very long time, and 5 minutes on the field, and already having a dislocated shoulder. Don't know if that was the confirmed report. It looked very much like a shoulder. That was right in front of where it happened to me. And as soon as I saw him kind of lean, and I was like, yeah, it looks like a shoulder. But Daph, I'm just going to throw it back to you. So obviously you've written down some things for the initial thoughts, and then obviously we touched on a few things so far. But is there anything else there, or anything else that you, before we get into some key stats and pure moments of the game, is there any more initial thoughts that you want to try and touch on before we head into some very damning stats?
Yeah, well, the key thing for me is I think we just wasted the whole third quarter to win the game. I think that's it. The third quarter is the winning game, and then you can hold. Like I said, I know I've said it before, but like I've written down here, lack of scoring in the third quarter hurt us. If you just even it out, keep a 5-goal lead. Sometimes when you're cooked in the last quarter, when you genuinely cook, but you can hold on. I'm fine with that. But do your work earlier. Don't that's just frustrating. And the final point is we had the chance to do something at selection. And I'm gonna say it fucking baffles me. It absolutely baffles me. We don't give the kid a shot. We do not give the kid a shot. We didn't give him a shot in the selection, but fuck me. Jackson Binns, if he's not playing next week, fucking hell. Fucking hell, Patto. Fuck.
Yeah.
I know it's, we're talking about let's fucking get the team right for grand finals or finals. We've got to fucking get there first. So pick the guys who are in form. Pick the guys who are in form. And I agree that the difference between VFL level and AFL level is vastly different. But fuck me, you're giving guys who don't warrant selection a game, what difference does it fucking make? And I'm not pointing at one or two guys. This is, a few guys, but yeah, it's frustrating.
Oh, I just think some of the decisions that were made tonight within the game is astounding. It is absolutely astonishing of what some of the decisions were. Like moving Lewis Young back was probably the right move to go with. Let's be real.
Yeah, we should have.
Him moving back was the right move, but having Charlie Curnow so far up the ground, he played as good of a game, and he almost got the 3 votes. Seriously, he almost got the 3 votes, and I don't know what else he could have done. And I'm just looking at even the lineup and having Adam Chera listed in the back pocket. It's astounding, Daff. It is astounding. Literally, so the first centre bounce, it was Chera, Walsh, Cripps. And I'm like to Jacob, you fucking beauty. They finally sorted it out that Chera is a centre bounce attendance beast, and he needs to be in there as much as possible.
Yeah.
But then I looked over and I'm like, oh shit, wait. Chin Cotter's in the halfback flank.
Yeah.
What's he doing there? To tag Zach Butters. So most of the CBAs, Chin Cotter was on Zach Butters, but then he changed to Ollie Wines, then he changed to fucking Willem Drew at some point, then he changed to Dan Houston. There's too much confusion there.
Yeah.
Like I think we're worrying so much about what the opposition is doing. Don't worry about them. Worry about what we can fucking do. Chera is there, and he's not a half-backer. The amount of times I was hearing it around where I was sitting, Chera is not a half-back flank. How is he going to find form if he is not in his genuine position? It is astounding. I've said that a few times, but it's the only word I can really think of right now because I cannot believe that they have gone another week with playing one of our best players one of our best players from last year and not playing him in the middle. I can't see the reason for it. So what is your point? What is your opinion on Adam Chera? Do you think he is he should be playing in there like more centre backs attendances? Do you think he should be in the midfield more? Do you think the a half back flank is the right play for him? Do you think even a half forward role, even a wing role? I don't fucking know. So what do you think? What's your opinion on the whole Chera story? Because I feel like I'm kind of overreacting a little bit, but fuck, I'm over it.
Mm. Um, yeah, it's no, I agree. I saw him training with the backs before the game. I knew he was going to go down back, so that didn't catch me by surprise. Yeah, it's I don't know. You're not doing him any favors, I don't think. If he's not good enough in the middle, well, if he's not good enough
Why
in
is
the
he
middle,
playing? Why is he
why is
playing?
he playing?
Yeah.
Um, it's talking about the middle. I know Adam Chera shouldn't be halfback. I agree. I think that's just the case closed. I think that is the decision that is just you've got Jordan Boyd fit and
Yep.
ready. What the
Yep.
fuck?
Yep.
Oh, that just um, and then you got what is going on with. I'll just transfer onto the midfield. What is going on there? What is going on? Seriously, like it's actually so bad. Oh, I can't even trust them to win clearances anymore. They killed us in the middle. I thought Chincotta went, like you said, when he was on Butters, he was good. He was all over him every stoppage. He did really well on him, actually. He ended up getting 23, but that's not too bad, really. His impact on the game wasn't huge. I thought Willem Drew's impact on the game was massive.
Yeah.
He played on Cooper really well, and um, yeah, I don't know. Well, what are we going to do from here? If we can't win out of the middle, I'm not sure we're going to win many games. And I'm looking straight at that Hawthorn game. I know we've got Collingwood next week as well, which is, that's definitely, there's no guarantees anymore, I don't think. If we keep playing like that, if we play like we did for the second quarter, for 4 quarters, we won't lose a game. So it's just really, um, I don't know. It's, what can you say? And in terms of the positioning, like you said with Lewis Young, I don't mind trialing him at half forward for a quarter. But you're looking at Radicalea on Kemp. It's not working. It's not working. So maybe switch it. You go Kemp half forward and you go, Kemp, you're going to present all fucking day until are knackered for your teammate and Charlie Kerner. You're going to try and present. And then you get Lewis Young and Radicalea because they both cancel each other out. They're both Gumbies, right? They're both Gumbies. They're two big fellas. They'll just cancel each other out. Yeah, it's just watching Radigalia take marks up forward. It was hurting my eyes. And it's not Brody Kemp's fault. It's just in terms of he's so undersized. Like his hands are, you know what I mean. And that's great coaching from Hinkley. And he cops the heat. I think he cops a lot of unwarranted heat. I think he gets the most out of a list that's not probably there. I don't think his list has ever been there, to be honest. So. Um, can you say outcoached, lack of position changes. We were reactive instead of proactive before the game, and that's just uh,
When you say reactive, what do you mean by that?
we change. Like we just like you say, we're more worried about what they're doing. Because I want us to be proactive. I want us to make decisions on the go without worrying how the game's going. I want us to worry about how our game's going. And we put Lewis Young down back in the last quarter. And I thought he actually did all right, holding down the fort in a way in the last quarter. But what are we waiting for the last quarter for? I thought defensively we held up fine. They scored 79. I thought our defense was fine. Just could not, and you know what I mean? Like, I thought our pressure was great in our defense for almost 4 quarters of that game. They could not score. And I know they had 13 behinds, but a lot of those behinds were a lot of pressure, wasn't it? It was a pressure type atmosphere. They just couldn't get 3 shots at goal, which is credit to them. But yeah, I think ultimately, we weren't good enough in the key personnel out. Shows maybe some of these guys aren't good enough in his team.
Yeah, well, there has to be some honest conversations happening within the next few days and the next few weeks if you really want to start to
Mm.
like make the most of this potential with this club
Oh
and the
God.
talent that we've got. The potential within the club is
Mm.
like it's astounding that we are still heading into round 21 next week and we're still a little bit unsure of what Carlton is going to
Fuck.
like end up on the field, and we're second on the ladder still. We
Mm.
like
Not
we
for long.
wow, yeah. I mean, Brisbane have to obviously get their job
Rio.
against this, Suns, and then obviously Fremantle against West Coast. GWS are in their hunt as well. So, and then they're playing the D's, I think it is. But yeah, there's just a few. Now I'll just go through the stoppages because I completely agree with you, what you said about the defense. With what I don't think Weeders and the defense down there could do any more.
No,
Really
I
don't. I
agree.
think McGovern was great. I think his inclusion was perfect. I think Kemp down there being
They
that
were
intercept
fine.
defender, I think they were all fine. I think Sardi did his role. Knew
Yep.
he had a few gimme touches and a few.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah, he's been poor the past few
I
weeks.
thought his first half was good because he's attacking, but that third quarter, he
Yeah,
started kicking off one step. He started playing negative footy, which is
yeah,
when we start doing that, I know we're fucked. I
yeah.
know we're not just him, but back half. How about when the Wiedering and him just kept kicking back to each other, kicking back to each other? Take something on. We're 30 points up, Patto, and we're scared.
Mm. Cowan was another player that did really well tonight. I think
Yeah.
he's well and truly shown why he is in this side. But so the stoppages. So 38 hitouts to 50, obviously in the favour of Port Adelaide.
Yep.
Clearances, they were plus 10
Yep.
clearances, uh, plus 7 centre clearances, and plus 3 stoppage clearances. And I think that is
Mm.
the reason why we are losing. And it's been the same
Yep.
stats week on week on week. So obviously we have the stats of why it's happening or what's going on in that midfield. So why are we sorting it out, Daff? I can't comprehend it. Like I was driving home in the car tonight. I'm
Mm.
at the point in time where I'm like, I feel like I know what the problem is. But obviously
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is because if I knew what
Mm.
the problem was,
Yep.
Michael Voss and the coaching staff would know what the problem was
Of
as well.
course. Yeah.
So I don't like. I think the stats are quite clear to me. We got
Mm.
smacked in the midfield, and that was the reason why. And then I think the defense held up quite well, and we kept
Yeah,
Port
they
up
did.
79 after the like
Of course.
under the marble roof. So I don't
Yeah.
think the defense could do any more. But yet the midfield still got smacked. We've been saying it for 4 weeks,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's still the same story. And we're heading into round 21 next week, and it's still the same story. Are you serious?
Yeah.
It's at a point now where I just don't know. I don't know how much more obvious it has to be. I think this
Mm.
is probably the blatant like this has been like a standout
Yeah.
game has been the
Yeah.
standout of the stats. But what's your thoughts on the stoppage and more kind of guess importantly the clearances because to me that's some damning stats once again and yeah it's a
Yeah.
big worry with that midfield as you said.
Yeah. I think, people always talk about the end of the game. We always seem to even up the numbers sometimes in games, not tonight. But and everyone goes, "Oh, that's all right." But it's almost not even a numbers thing. I think the mentality of your team is always based on the the start of a kind of a set of bounce or a stoppage is the way you can get momentum in a game. And for me, the way I look at it is, like you said, I think it's clear as day. I think we're just letting teams out of a stoppage too easy. Like how many times? Like it doesn't matter who it was. It was whether it was Wines, whether it was Drew or whoever. Doesn't matter who it was. They just found a way. You know what I mean? These teams are finding ways. I thought North Melbourne killed us at the stoppage last week. And even if we won the numbers, I don't give a fuck. Like we seem to find it so hard to get out of the stoppage, right? And our entries go to about the 45 to 55 meter mark. They get a stoppage on the wing. Where's the ball going? The top of the fucking goal square. That's the difference, isn't it? And the clearances as well. You might get a clearance, but our clearances aren't clean enough. Their clearances are driving it 10 meters into goal. Imagine if Charlie was getting that, getting, one on one, especially with the 666. People, they go clearances. Oh, let's look at numbers. Numbers are great, but it's the quality of your clearances too and your stoppages. That's where we're getting hurt. And I thought in that last quarter, we ran out of legs. I'm not even looking at the last quarter. My pissed off was the third quarter. And there was a few instances where we were missing tackles. And there was a Butters one where, you just kept evading and evading and evading. And, oh, God, it was... because I just didn't think him and Rosie really had their authority on the game. That's the frustrating part. I thought it was a terrible game of football overall.
Mm.
I thought it was pretty bad. Had a few messages from mates saying, "Gee, that game was horrendous." Like the game was actually horrendous to watch. So, the way both these teams are playing, I think we're going to have a say on the final day.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that funny? Like 4 weeks ago, we were like speaking about, what could potentially happen.
Yeah.
We're living in like
Mm.
some sort of world where Carlton is actually a good side. We're a top 2 side. We're going to meet Buddy Sydney in the grand final. At this point, I don't reckon like if we lose the next few, our top 8 spots in doubt. Like
Yeah.
the top 8 is so tight, and
Mm.
obviously I bloody expect us to be bloody top 2.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we
we're at a
are.
point now where we've shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah.
We've lost 3 of the past 4. We beat North Melbourne by 19 points.
Yeah.
We're heading into the Pies next week. If you told me 4 weeks ago that we're heading into Pies next week and we're under the pump and we kind of had to win that game to stay within touch of top 4, I would have given you a big slap across the face and say, mate, you are living in La La Land.
Yeah.
But so, all right, I went back to the Carlton v Cats game, and I reckon that was probably the last game that we've played our best football. And I
Yeah.
think
Richmond was all right.
sorry.
Richmond was all right. Won
Yeah, I think our
by
second
10
half was
goals.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. The second
I
half was
think
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 4 quarter because I wanted to see like four
Mm.
4 quarter performances.
Yep.
And I reckon by memory, I think Geelong's probably the last game that I really thought about. And so Hiddas was obviously 43 to 35. Clearances 50 to 39. Center clearances we actually lost by 2, and stoppage clearances was the big one, plus 13, 35
Mm.
to 22. So, and people speak about the importance of Mark Pitnet playing as a ruck and the clearances should be better. I don't reckon it's Pitto's fault.
No, it's
He,
not at all. I thought he was good tonight.
great.
I don't think it's Pitto. Pitto, I feel like I completely agree with your point. When literally popped in my brain when you said it. It's like we just keep talking about TDK and Pitto. It's this obsession with one or the other. You know what I mean? Like, and we talk about the ruck conversation as well. But people think that's just if we have Pitto, we win clearances. If we have TDK, we're better off transition. But I thought Pitto fucking played pretty well tonight, in my opinion. I thought he lost the ruck taps, but like I thought he really held his own. I thought he was almost out muscling Jordan Sweet at some points of the games, and probably that free kick at half forward where he got dragged and stuff like that. So I think it's just the mids in there. I think Walsh has been horrendous the last month. I seriously think he's been terrible. And people go, "Oh, but he had his 28 or whatever." I don't know. I don't even know what he had tonight.
23.
But back, really, his impact with ball is terrible. You know when Lewis Young has had more impact with ball in hand in a game. It's questions have to be raised, and Cripper's been great. I think Cripper's form's been phenomenal in the last month of how bad we've been playing. So he probably has a few tickets to be beaten for once. And he was beaten tonight by Willem Drew. So yeah, like I said on this sheet, where to from here? You got Collingwood next week. If we play like this against Hawthorn, they will beat us by 12 goals. And then you got the Eagles and Saints. And realistically, if you're not winning 3 out of 4 of those, well, what's the point of being here? Really? If we don't win at least 3 of those, what's the point? What are we on this podcast for? Why do we have premiership aspirations if we cannot win at least 3, probably 4 of them? Let's be real.
Well, yeah. I mean, I look
at our best, we should be able to beat all of them, but I don't think we're going to find our best at the moment.
I look at that and say that should be 4 wins.
Yeah, should be, really.
But I looked at the past 3 games. Well, Giants to a stretch.
Giants and Dogs, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but even Dogs, I was like, that should be a win.
Mm. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you didn't like Sam Walsh's performance tonight?
No,
11 tackles,
no.
second high in the match,
You can chase ass all you like. If you're not impacting with ball in hand,
five
I don't know.
clearances.
Clearances, what clearances? It's numbers. For me, it's his impact. It's just terrible with
Mm.
ball in hand. He's almost taking that second too long, isn't he? Sometimes with ball in hand, he keeps getting chased down. He's taking. I like that taking an extra second sometimes, but he's almost taking another second, and it's impacting his clearances. And that clearances are going, like I said before, they're going 35 to 50 meters, not even 35. I'm going to be 40 to 60. And
Mm.
those little, those the high loopers. And I'd say the same thing for Hewitt, and I'd say the same thing for a lot of the times how many times have we in a clearance where we're free and we go back into trouble, or we force ourselves onto our non-dominant foot? How many times does that happen? You go, okay, I'll just go on my left and I'll sacrifice 20 meters inside 50. It's little things, but I notice them all the time. I notice them against North. You're making it harder for yourselves. We lost that game tonight. They didn't win it. Like, good on them for winning it. They had a good last quarter. Good. They scored 79 and won the game. That's got to be on our plate, isn't it?
Yeah. So are you more looking at it from an attacking standpoint, or are you looking at it from a defensive standpoint
Who's this?
for Carlton tonight? Do you reckon it
Oh,
was like, do you reckon that the defense could have been a little bit better? Or do you think it was purely the mids? Well, I think we
yeah.
kind of know the answer for the
Mm.
defense. I think they couldn't have really done much more. But do you think it was more of the mids or the forwards? Because I think even when we got the ball inside, there still wasn't
Yeah.
there wasn't any synergy.
No.
There wasn't any. There was the
No.
disconnection from
Yeah.
the mids to the forwards.
Oh,
It's starting to reach a point
bad.
in my mind that I'm watching this and I'm laughing. I'm
Yeah.
genuinely laughing, and I am like,
Mm.
these guys have played together for 5 years. This core, and yeah. So, what's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, defense was fantastic tonight. Nothing wrong with them. I thought there was so many goals they saved. Oh my God, there was like a few of those Burgoyne ones in that first half where he's running in on goal and shat himself a few times. But um, yeah, in terms of the mids, of course, I think were they? I don't know if they were bad, but gee, that forward line, like you said, it's how many smalls do we have? How small are we
Yeah,
now?
basketball.
We've gone from too tall to too small. Like, I don't think you can have Fogarty, Owies, Motlop. Fuck. Like, Owies kicks his goals and it keeps him in the team, Pato, but fuck me. Sometimes when there's a ball to be won, does he win it? Does he win it? Let's be real. And I look at tonight and go, fuck, you got the guy with the initials, JM, in the twos. What are we waiting for? For the Saints to knock us out of finals? For him to play the game? I think it's time to bring in a few fresh legs. That includes maybe Mr. Binns and maybe Mr. Martin.
Is it worth taking a lot of a lot of those risks for the next few weeks, knowing that we are second on the ladder?
Mm,
There is not a hell like the past 3 weeks, and I am going to be the first person to say it infuriates me how we haven't
yeah,
executed with the past 3 weeks, because we could have been
yeah.
securing a home final, pretty much a home qualifying final right now. But unfortunately, we're in the position right now.
Mm,
Are you just a little bit like had the mindset of you're a little bit unsure about taking that risk, knowing that if you bring in Jackson Binns and you bring in I mean, even Jordan Boyd as a Moosey tonight, I don't know what he has done.
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's I because when I saw the teams come out, I was like, oh, Jordan Boyd must not be right. And they're
Yeah.
emergencies, and I'm like, what is going on there?
Yeah.
What is going on there? So Jack Martin as well. If he's
Yeah.
not in next week, I reckon I've had him in my ins and outs every single week, ever since he's been right to go. But I don't know what else he needs to do. So I'm calling
Tonight,
out
if
Jack
tonight
Martin.
doesn't show, if tonight doesn't show why he should, like, he has to be in now. If you had him tonight, we would have had Curnow, Lewis Young for parts, and Jack Martin. I think our forward line would have been running a lot smoother. Um, and yeah, I know it's a risk you take, but fuck me, do you take a risk and not drop some players? Like, fuck, I think Akers probably comes back next week, and you got Harry back next week. Fuck, there's some pretty handy ins. Those are some pretty handy ins, and yeah, I think it's almost time to get to the votes because fuck me, it's like what do we do? We're second and we're having a sort. We're not going to be second for long. We're not a top four team, I don't think. Unfortunately, that shows you the length of the season, how consistent you have to be. And I know it's tight, and if we win every game from here, we'll be top four. But I'm really worried that we're going to get a really just cold, hard look at our team in the finals if we, make it. Like what happens if we play qualifying or away in Brisbane and we're playing the way we're playing, and then we face fucking Essendon in a semi? It's just smell of a straight sets, and we've still got to come top four. I don't think we can get too ahead of ourselves at the moment.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I said earlier about our top 8 spots in Jeopardy. Let's be real. I mean, I think top 4 obviously they're both still very realistic. I mean, top 8 is pretty much impossible for us to miss. We have to do a hell of a lot wrong,
Yeah.
but top 4 is now looking unlikely. When 2 weeks ago you look at it and be like, unlikely. We're second on the ladder, cleared by 2 games. Port Adelaide are now on the same points as us.
It's unbelievable.
It's
They
yeah,
have no, like, I'm not trying to bag them again.
they're no good.
They're on the same amount of wins as them. There's an issue.
Yeah,
There's a clear issue at the moment.
yeah. So, Daft Boy, let's now move on to the bagger of the game votes. I think it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode tonight. We're obviously recording this at 12:30 a.m. and it obviously shows that reviewing a loss like that is not as much fun as reviewing a win. But your 3-2-1 bagger of the game votes, and I mean, obviously for the viewers that don't know what this is, we go 3-2-1. 3 votes, best player. 2 votes, second best player. 1 vote, third best player. Exactly like the Brownlee system. And we rank them from best to worst after boy. But your 3-2-1 back of the game votes. Who have you got?
Yeah, I'll start off number one. 1 vote, sorry. I've got Elijah Hollins. I thought he put a pretty good shift in. Gee, that first half, fuck. I think he was absolutely on fire. When you notice a player when they have so many touches without looking at the stats, I think that's often a reflection of when you're having a good day, and it's good to see him. He was probably the one guy in the second half who was taking it on through the middle, which we stopped doing for some reason. Stop. So it works in the first half, but we'll stop it in the second half. It's good coaching again. It's really, really good. But 2 votes, Matt Kennedy. He gets thrown around every single position and he finds a way to impact some of the grabs he was taking tonight. And that grab that he took in that without our only goal in the second half was fantastic. And he had to play forward. He was cooked. He gets put down back sometimes, and he's all of a sudden in the middle. It's just unbelievable what we're doing to him at the moment. He's an absolute quality footballer. So I'm giving him the 2 just for the role he played for me. He just it's holding your own and doing a role that just you get asked of doing, and it's going to be interesting to see what role he plays next weekend against the Scum. 3 votes, Charlie Curnow. Fuck, he had two blokes hanging off him the whole game, and he still has 20 touches and kicks 3. So yeah, it was a good day from him. 19 touches, 9 marks. He can't really ask for much more, and he's just cracked the 200 goals in 3 seasons, I think.
Wow.
So that's phenomenal from him. That's probably one positive I can probably take from the night is he's continued success in front of goal, and hasn't missed a game since he's obviously returned from injury. So, yeah, those are my votes, mate.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, so my one vote, I'm gonna fly straight through them, but my one vote, I'm gonna give it to Jacob Wienering. I don't
Yeah.
know what else he could really do tonight. I think he kept Charlie Dixon to. I don't even know that Charlie Dixon was playing. If I'm purely honest, if I'm truly honest, but also when he kind of had a period on Georgiades, he didn't really have much of a period. And I don't know why we didn't give more response
Oh,
to Georgiades, but I mean, we don't really want to continue this review for much longer. But yeah, that's another thing as to why that I don't know why we didn't. We put I think it was Brody Kemp straight away onto Georgiades, and I'm very surprised about that because I think Georgiades is in the form of his career, and I don't know why that happened, but I think Wienering having 16 touches, and I think 6 marks as well, and I just don't know what else he could have done as a key defender. So I think he's going to get the 1 vote. My 2 votes, I'm going Charlie Curnow. Going Charlie Curnow. I think he was fucking fantastic tonight. I don't know what else he could have done. 3 goals, 19 touches, 19 kicks, so 0 handballs. That's another thing as to that that just shows that how high he was up the ground. And he didn't really want to look at handing it off. He just wanted to try and drive it forward as much as possible. And also 9 marks is massive. But I'm giving the 3 to Matt Kennedy.
Yeah.
I thought he was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was.
You kind of look at his you kind of look at his his stats, and obviously he had 13 disposals, 9 kicks, 4 handballs, 5 marks, 3 tackles, 2 goals. But I think those 13 disposals was the most impact I've ever seen from a person who's had 13 disposals in a game. I feel like every single time he got the footy, something was going to happen. Even when he lined up at that goal, I think it was in the 4th quarter, maybe the 3rd, when he was having a shot in I think it was last quarter actually. When he was having that shot and he just missed it, but you just kind of felt like that was a big moment. And obviously if he executed then that would have been great. But I just think that he couldn't have really done much more. And as you said, I think he was in a role that he's not really he obviously played a bit of forward when he was younger, but I think he's really been good ever since he's kind of been shifted around from the midfield to even the halfback flank halfway through the year, now playing forward as that forward role. I think he couldn't have really done much more. And the one moment was that lace out kick to Jesse Motlop right on the tip.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable to see that. And the unselfishness from Matt Kennedy, I think
Yeah.
he's one guy that was just unbelievable tonight. And I'm so glad that he's finally got his body right and getting a few games together, and he's found that role, because now that we've found a role where Kennedy can play forward and George Hewitt's in this side as well. So I think it's great. But Def Boy, of course, that is the bagger of the game votes, and that's the review episode. Not sure if that's a shorter one than usual. I'm sure it is, because we usually do around 60-minute long episodes, but I think that was about, if I could guess, about 40 minutes, maybe 35, but not sure exactly. But Def Boy, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we wrap up the episode?
Yeah, 4 more games. Collingwood next weekend. Really not looking forward to it, but I guess we just show up, don't we? Why do we? The question I ask in my head a lot of times when I watch football over the years: why don't we watch this game with so much passion? Because of the good moments we've had this year. We've had a great year, so everyone goes, "Oh, but if you don't win the flag, it's not a good year." There's one team that wins it out of 18. Brisbane had a great year last year, missed out by a goal. Is that a bad year? 1 goal loss? I'm not saying I'm ruling out a premiership, but at the moment it's looking a very, very steep hill to get to that point in time. I hope I'm proven wrong. I have been proven wrong last year, probably from that Gold Coast game, but just got to believe. And I think we just got to, once again, we said in the preview, do not look ahead. Focus on fucking Collingwood and beat fucking Collingwood. Because if we lose that game, you could put the nail in the fucking coffin of the season. We're not getting anywhere if we're dropping a game to those dickheads.
Yep. Not too sure what else I need to say about that. That was absolutely spot on, and I think that's probably how everyone's kind of feeling at the moment, isn't it? Yeah. I'm just at the point in time of just it's more than
Annoying.
frustration. It's just
Yeah, it's flat. It's annoying. It's almost annoying.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%. It's
I'm
annoying.
not even. It's not even angry. It's like annoying. It's like, fuck. I thought we were done with this shit.
Yeah, I know. Mediocrity, yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously we'll do the preview episode. It's so shit doing a review. Loss, it is really. But yeah, I mean, we'll obviously do the preview episode for the Pies over the next few days. But I just think like it's just small things. Like
Yeah.
when I said earlier on in the episode, I was looking at the stats. I'm like, I just think that's quite obvious. I really do. And
Yeah.
maybe if you fix that, maybe some other avenue will fuck up. I don't know. But I just think that the stats are there. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm just over a Deaf Boy, as I'm sure you are as well. But to every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. If you do enjoy our content, make sure to obviously leave a subscribe. It is completely free, but it does definitely help with our channel. And also, if you want to leave your thoughts, good or bad, make sure to leave your comment on on the video, but also check out our Spotify, our podcast platforms as well. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're on a few other podcast platforms, Daffy Boy, and make sure to also subscribe on those platforms and leave a comment and your thoughts, but also get around our socials as we are trying our hardest to get as much content out as possible, but it does get to a point where if Carlton don't want to show up on the field, then I mean, obviously we are always going to show up as the I mean, as we own this channel, but it's just yeah, it's at the point now where it's very, very frustrating. That, and I'm sure it would be very frustrating for all the viewers watching this episode right now. But as we said, we're still second on the ladder. As you said, not for long. Let's be real. But there's always next week in football. We can always move on, and we're back to the home of football next week. I don't know if that will help anything at all. I really hope it doesn't. Oh, of course, would hope it does. But it's like if that's the point of difference, that's not good enough because I reckon we should play anywhere with the best football that we can produce. But yeah, I think that's all we have to say, David Boyd. But I can see you're about to yawn. I'm about to yawn as well. But to you, Taffy Boy, and to every single blue bagger out there. Ah,
Up
the
the bag.
baggers.